Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Eben Oracle here. Hey, I'm just making a video today about one of the most influential books that I read during my earlier part of my spiritual awakening. When I first started my awakening, or about midway through my awakening, I went on a commercial fishing trip. And I was spending quite a bit of time out at sea. And when the fish weren't biting, I was able to read books, focus on introspection, and really study the mysteries of the universe and get a much better understanding of, my purpose, what I was going through. And the most influential book that I read during that time period is called the Kybalion. The Kybalion is basically a book of Hermetic philosophy that goes through the Hermetic principles. There's 7 Hermetic principles that are considered universal or immutable laws by Hermeticists, and the 7 principles are the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, the principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, the principle of rhythm, the principle of cause and effect, and the 7th principle of gender. And basically what these laws mean are mentalism. Mentalism is the idea that our universe, our reality, and everything existent on the physical, mental, and spiritual plane are actually like a dream or a part of the greater consciousness or the universe or God, whatever you want to speak of it as. And the way I look at it is that we are all basically a dream in the mind of God. And this is our reality. This is how we manifest in this reality. And the second principle of correspondence is the principle of as above, so below. And that principle basically means that what is manifest in the spiritual realm gets reflected down to the mental realm, which in turn is reflected down to our physical realm and this manifestation which we live in. The third is vibration. And this law states that everything in existence is vibrational energy, either vibrating at a higher or lower vibrational energy. And basically everything around us is vibrating energy, and depending on how solid it is, like if it's matter, if it's mind, if it's spiritual, it's just that it's vibrating at a different rate. And that's why these 3 planes are separated by these vibrations. The fourth is polarity. And polarity is basically the idea of duality or dualism, that everything in existence exists between 2 extremes, between 2 poles, between hot and cold, light and dark, things of that nature. The 5th is rhythm. Rhythm means that everything in existence, it basically swings, the energy swings back and forth from one pole to the other. And it's almost like the rising of a tide and the tide going out. It's the ebb and flow of things. Everything have this natural rhythm to them. So sometimes when things are going bad, you can just know that as the pendulum swings back, that it's going to swing into a more positive position, because that is one of the immutable laws of this universe. Number 6 is the law of cause and effect. And the law of cause and effect basically means that for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So as the pendulum swings due to rhythm, as far right as it swings, it'll eventually swing back to the same position on the opposite pole on the left. So everything, as it ebbs and flows, as this rhythm of life, this rhythm of existence happens, it happens equally. If something is too hot, it eventually goes back to the other side of being too cold. If it's too light, it eventually goes back to the other side of being too dark. If you're depressed, it'll eventually swing back into happiness or joy, depending on the depth of the depression. So if you're super depressed, if you're majorly depressed, you'll eventually find this major happiness. It's just one of those immutable laws. And the seventh principle is the principle of gender. And the principle of gender basically speaks of everything manifesting in a male or female form, in a positive or negative form. It's basically the old yin and yang, you know, to be clear and precise about it. I'm going to start a video series about this book because of how influential it was to me and how much it really opened my eyes to how things in this universe work and the mysteries of things that really aren't that mysterious. They seem mysterious if you're thinking about them in the old materialism point of view. But these ancient Hermeticists, which started back in ancient Egypt, and also the Greeks were Hermeticists, and the tradition has moved forward through time into modern times. It's not as popular as it once was, but anybody who's dealing with manifestation, magic with a K, then you need to learn these principles, because these principles are, you know, the immutable laws that you're working with. You know, you can transmute something like, you can take something that's of like, you know, that's on the same scale of polarity. Like you can transmute hot into cold. You can transmute love into hate, right? But you can't transmute love into red or love into heat, because they're not two things of a like nature. They're not on the same scale. They don't have the same poles. So as you're manifesting, it's really important to know these principles, because they directly affect your manifestation, your ability to turn your intentions into reality. And if you are not manifesting in the proper way by using these principles, your manifestation just simply will not work. I'm going to start in my next videos going through each one of these Hermetic principles one by one and elaborate on them and kind of go more into what it meant to me, how they helped me in my life, and my personal experience with them, so that you kind of get a first-hand knowledge from me about what these things are. Anyways, guys, this is Saturday out here in Florida, chilling in the swamp, and it just started raining on me, so I'm going to cut this video off. I hope you guys are having a great day. This is the Eben Oracle. Peace out.